head coach of the Lisbon Blue Devils, Matt Altomare. Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Sure. Thank you, Anthony. Thanks, Ty. I appreciate you guys having me.
And let's just talk right away about that first win of the season last week and getting the win over East Palestine. What did this win kind of mean for this program going forward, trying to kind of establish that winning culture and that winning attitude?
Yeah, sometimes the first win's always the hardest one to get. And, we're working hard every week, and, you want to be able to show improvement. And though we've improved in every area, every day, I think we get a little bit better. It's hard to show that without a win on the side of the scoreboard. So I think it's important moving forward, year two in our program, and it's moving forward. It really helped this week too with practice and continuing to get better. So it's very important. That's why we coach.
Austin Daly had a great performance, so much so that it put him up for Big Dogs of the Valley. Talk to me a little bit about what he's meant for this team and how it kind of finally showcased and put it all together to finally culminate in that first victory.
Sure. Austin had a great game, and it was great also for the development of our program. Austin was a sophomore, came in, fought hard to earn a starting position on defense, and just kept, slowly working hard, learning the offense, and worked his way into the starting lineup on Friday. And that's what you want to see out of kids. They get their opportunity, and they give you what we call pleasant surprises. And it was a great game that he played. He ran hard. He ran the plays. He knew all his plays. Without having experience back there, you always worry about that. And that's good. We like pleasant surprises. We like good things happening.
If you had to kind of describe the mentality and the personality of this team and the guys that you have this year, how would you kind of describe the feeling of the team and the chemistry and camaraderie they have together as a unit?
Sure. I would say we're growing every day. We're pretty young. And the kids that aren't young, being freshmen and sophomores, I believe we play 6 or 7 sophomores and 2 freshmen. And we do have some juniors, seniors that play, but a lot of them, it's kind of their first full season out on the varsity football field. So, we're a little inexperienced, and sometimes you take for granted how quickly you can grow up. And I would say we're growing every day, and we're growing and getting better. And, we've had a few, incidents within our program this year that maybe have impeded us being able to grow as quickly as we wanted to. But I couldn't be more pleased with our kids. We're growing, we're getting better. We turned into a football team. We're buying in. We're doing everything that maybe you don't do at a junior high level, but you do at the varsity level. Watching film, running variations. Learning how to create variations of what you're doing on the fly and stuff. So I couldn't be more pleased with the growth that we've experienced.
Looking at this game too tonight with a matchup with the Wellsville Tigers, as you guys now want to go from a win to more of a winning streak. You want to start, you laid the foundation, you want to try to build on it. Preview this game a little bit for me, what you're kind of expecting from the Wellsville side of things, and without giving up too much of your playbook, let me know a little bit of what we expect to see from the Blue Devils tonight.
Sure. It's a good rivalry. It's a very good rivalry. I guess that's one of the good things about being down in Lisbon, being in the center of the county and the county seat. I think we've got a rivalry with everyone. But Lisbon and Wellsville have played, I believe, 100-ish times, and the entire series is pretty even. And if you look back just on the last 10 years, I think it's 5-5 the last 10 years. So it's always going to be a good, hard-fought game. Wellsville is a physical team. Moose Ramsey down there has established his brand of football. And they're going to come right at you, and they're going to be very aggressive on defense. And, if you look at Wellsville's games, they haven't given up too many rushing yards. A couple of big plays they gave up against Southern last week, but for the most part, in their 4 games, teams haven't been able to run the football. So, it's important that we establish what we want to do, and we adjust if they stop that. So we expect a good, hard-fought football game, and you expect nothing less from Wellsville.
You said it earlier, this is your second year in the program. First year coaches, you want to establish your philosophy and kind of establish the culture. And then the second year is when you start to kind of see that melt in. Have you seen a lot of what you want to see out of this program start to melt in now that you're in year 2 and you're able to have a second year under the belt with these kids?
Sure. Yeah. We're starting to, and that's very important. It's tough. Last year was a tough year to be a first year coach, and I joked with, some people that, it was really year zero, because just with getting a late start, we didn't even know if we'd be having a game from week to week. And, I guess that's sort of carried over this year too. You don't know what's going to happen and when, with all these games getting canceled. So, yeah, we're starting to, and we're getting there. You need buy-in from the kids, and we've got that. And secondly, we just have to continue to understand what our expectations are moving forward, and we've got that. So it's just a matter of, just keep chugging along and trying to get better every day at this point, because it's been an interesting 2 years to be a football coach. There's no doubt about that, with everything going on.
I think there's no question that the adversity you've had to face is definitely unique compared to any other first-year coach. Talk to me a little bit about that. And I mean, trying to lay those foundations. I mean, you talk about the kids buying in. Talk to me. Was that a challenge a little bit, or trying to lay a foundation in when you don't really have that consistency? Do we have a game week to week? Are we even practicing this week?
Sure. And last year was tough, because you were worried at any moment that the whole state was going to shut you down, and you didn't know. You always had that in the back of your head. You never let the kids think about that, but as coaches, that's always in your mindset. And the toughest part probably was, you get hired. I teach in a different district, so you get hired, and you start. Kids are going to play for you, and kids are going to buy into the program if they know you care and if they care. And of course, every kid's playing because they love the game of football, and that's what I want. But they got you. You got to show them that you care about them, and you got to get them to care about you and the other coaches. So that we're a little bit behind last year with that, with not even being able to be around them for 3 months after you get hired, and so it's just going to take a little bit more time. That's the beauty, like I said, about football is kids care. They care about the sport, and now we're just making sure that they know we care about them. We're there for them, and they'll be there for us in the meantime.
You said it, you teach at a different school district. I want to talk a little bit more about that, because what's the dynamic of being able to having to wear the one color proud, and then all of a sudden you have to after your work day you have to put the Lisbon hat on and wear the Blue Devils proud, and kind of balance that mindset. What's that like?
Yeah, some days it's tough. It's kind of funny. I've been yelled at down in Lisbon a couple of times because I've walked in with a Letonia shirt on, and I was like, "Whoops, sorry about that," and vice versa. I've been at Letonia with some Lisbon gear on, and believe me, people will call me out pretty quick on that. I got to remember turn my shirt inside out sometimes where I go, so that's tough. It's okay. Right now, next week's going to be a little bit tough because I hate looking ahead on the schedule, but we do have the Spaghetti Bowl between Letonia and Lisbon next week, so that's going to be a little bit interesting, and it's a good rivalry, but people let me have it both ways. There's no doubt about that.
I imagine you have to hear it from your students all week, and then the next week, if you don't win that game, you're gonna have to hear it in the classroom every day too.
Exactly, and that's one thing. Hopefully, that's a big motivation next week, because that's one thing I'm not looking forward to. It's a good rivalry. I hear it a lot up here at Letonia about what's going to happen next week, and kids want to win, and where it becomes difficult for me as that coach is, hey, I want Letonia to be successful. I want them to go 9-1 every year. The one being we know which game, but
right.
I want them to have success because they are my students too. So it's a little tough sometimes.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, we'd love to talk about that game. We'll get through tonight too, and we'll talk about that game as that one comes closer with you, Coach. But I mean,
Sure.
Talk to me a little bit about the Lisbon community too. I mean, obviously, I think this win this last week was huge for the community. Talk to me how much this community has supported this team, and how much that community support helps this team.
Community support has been tremendous. One of the big draws of coaching down in Lisbon is it's a football town, and I know that's cliche. Some coaches say that, anywhere they go, but, they've got a great football tradition, most league titles in the county. Their tradition dates back, almost, 90 years. of being successful. And, that's carried over. People in Lisbon love their football and they support their football. And, you can't really put a price on that, because once you have buy-in, I mean, you talked about buy-in with the kids, but if you've already got buy-in from the community and the administration down there, it's a lot easier to get buy-in from the kids. And, it's a great football town. It's I alluded to being at Letonia. It's a very similar town. It's almost like they're brother and sister towns. Same kind of makeup, same kind of houses. I mean, you really can't tell too much different. Just being older communities. It's a great town, and I'm very blessed and very pleased to be a part of it.
What has been your favorite thing about coaching at Lisbon the last 2 years, and being able to get immersed in that community a little bit and learn a little bit more about how supportive that community can get? Sure.
The greatest thing probably has been the ability to develop more relationships with young men. That's probably my favorite part of coaching. I mean, I love, calling plays on Friday night. Who doesn't? But, it's the developing the relationships and helping young men achieve their goals, whether it's on the football field or off the football field. And, that's what I love about this sport. And that's what I love about this game is, you get the opportunity to develop relationships. And that's been the greatest thing. And even adults too, they've been very welcoming, but, there's great kids down in Lisbon, and I'm very excited that I get the opportunity to be with them every day.
Coach, to talk a little bit more about tonight's game with Wellsville before we let you go, because I want to finish it off a little bit more with the preview. We know week to week, game plans change depending on the opponents. You want to play to your strengths, obviously, all the time. But what's a player on offense and a player on defense that maybe we should look out for the Blue Devils tonight?
Sure. I'm going to veer off just a little bit. I'm saying look towards our offensive line. Tonight, our entire offensive line, starting with Hunter Daly at center, moving over to Matt Davis and Lyden Freeman at guard, and Gage Owens, Jimmy Welter, and Ryan Preston at our tackles. You can't forget about Luke Kraft at tight end. Once you get to week 7, week 8, Wellsville knows who our weapons are. You alluded to Austin Daly. We have Trevor Sefke at quarterback, Giovanni Estrada at receiver, running back, and everybody knows who our weapons are, and teams are going to gear to try to stop our offensive output there. But realistically, tonight, to have success, our offensive line is going to have to step up, and we're going to have to create some holes for the guys that we're going to get the ball to.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on game day. I know Fridays have to be more hectic than most days for you. We appreciate the time, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Good luck tonight, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate everything you guys do for sports in the Valley. We really appreciate it.